Hey, everybody, good evening, and welcome back to another episode of the Witching Hour podcast. I'm your host, as always, John Royceland. I am here tonight. I'm doing a triple play video movie review for you fine folks out there so you can expand your library of horror knowledge and say, yeah, I've seen that shit. That was fucking awesome. Or, well, John told me it was a piece of shit, but it's fucking awesome, which is most likely what's going to happen. Anyhow, I got a couple people before getting going. I want to start with, I want to thank Mr. August Aguilar, friend of mine, filmmaker from Florida, with Strange Film Studios, who is bringing us Piglet Rising in conjunction with Spook House Media Works. Piglet Rising is a prequel and a short to Piglet, which he is working on, which is in the works that will be coming out soon, hopefully. Piglet Rising is a story of a group of friends, four guys that go on a lead hiking expedition up in the mountains, and one by one start disappearing and are being murdered by Pigman, let's call him, by Piglet. It is, again, very short. I believe it's only, if I remember correctly, a 6-7 minute film. It is set to have taken place in the 80s. I don't want to give too much away. August always brings us rather good, compelling films through Strangeland, which is his film studio, along with he and his father, who currently lives in Philadelphia, I believe. The movie itself is definitely intriguing. Definitely left it wide open, obviously, for his full-length feature of Piglet. It gives you that backwoods kind of feel. Tour guide is involved. There's definitely more here, and I'm very curious and very anxious to see the follow-up and find out what the entire storyline is. So right now, I believe it is for view on YouTube through Strangeland Film Studios YouTube channel. Definitely look out for that. And while you're there, subscribe to it. They're good people, and they are always bringing us good quality films. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Moving forward, Worst Laid Plans. Now, this is actually coming. The film came out in 2022. I want to thank the people over at Joy Horror Entertainment for having shared this with me for review. Worst Laid Plans is an anthology of vacation horror based on the book that was released by Grindhouse Press just a few years prior to. Now, it took the book itself had, I believe, 14 stories in it, if I'm correct. The film is an anthology of 3 vacationing stories that have definitely gone wrong. The 3 stories involved in the film are Deep in the Heart, directed by John Hale III, which brings us to, let's just say, a guided tour through a cavern. Lights go out. Somebody is grabbed, and let's just say something from the deep is brought to life. This is probably my favorite of the films. Favorite of the anthology. I think the special effects, what is brought to the surface from the deep, was definitely surprisingly done really, really well. The entire film was done well. It had a great production. The thing I love about anthologies is that you have different filmmakers bringing you different views, different thoughts, different imaginations and creativity and molding it into one. But the film overall had a great quality. It opens up with the opening credits are shown as wish you were here kind of postcards and different locations. And it's really kind of neat, and it definitely grabs you and brings you in. Second after that is You've Been Saved, brought to you by Christopher G. Moore. This is a story of two friends out on a getaway vacation. While dining in a diner, a young girl approaches one of the men that's eating, drops a note that he finds as her significant other or parent is finds her actually and drags her back off as they get into their RV and head on down the road. The guy finds the letter, and it is actually a Bible verse. Shows the two gentlemen later that night in a hotel room, kicking back a couple beers, and the gentleman is really distressed by this. And he actually sees the RV coincidentally parked down the road. So he kind of goes for a ride, and well, I don't want to give anything away, but he finds the RV. He sneaks in, and while you might be thinking it's going to be a religious bound event, a good versus evil kind of a thing, it's not. That's all I'm going to say, because what is going to happen is definitely going to surprise the ever-loving shit out of you, which it did me. Yeah, it was it was definitely fun and surprising. Next on our list, to wind up the rest of the film, is the Taylor Family Vacation 93, which is brought to us by filmmaker Jeremy Herbert. Now, this film is of a young couple on vacation. The boyfriend in the relationship videotapes everything. And this is back in the day where it was a camcorder, not just a little handheld thing, or not even with your cell phone. Okay, so we're dating back to the mid 80s, where the VHS tape itself was the size of a small phone book. They're on vacation. He is videotaping every single thing, and it is driving his girlfriend absolutely fucking nuts, to the point where things start to get distressed and start to fall apart. That's where I'm leaving that. Worst Laid Plans, definitely look into the film. It kind of snuck under the radar. I had actually talked to John Hale and Jeremy Herbert a few years ago when they were still in post-production working on the film. And to be honest with you, I don't even recall hearing the movie was ever finished, completed, and let alone being released. So definitely look for Worst Laid Plans, especially if you are an anthology enthusiast, because this is one that definitely needs to be added to your wall of films and library. And then again, just to support a good film, good quality film, definitely look for it. And coincidentally, I actually looked up the book, which is out of print. It was in limited edition. So if you were lucky enough to have got your hands on it, definitely hang on to it. Following up, I want to thank the folks that sent me the request, a submission to review their film, which is on Tubi, called Hanky Panky. Not to be confused with the old Gene Wilder film. This film was from 2023. It is a comedy horror. This is a tough one, folks. It was made on a micro budget. The story itself is of a woman invites a group of friends to a Utah cabin in the middle of winter, very secluded. It's actually beautiful scenery that they do show. One gentleman was invited by mistake. This gentleman has social anxiety, socially awkward, and his best friend is a talking handkerchief that he keeps in his jacket pocket. Um, well, that handkerchief is kind of reminiscent of the old angel and devil on your shoulder that always talks to you in the old cartoons. Well, he plays the devil. Okay. But at the same time, there is also another talking inanimate object in the film. Um, it is a top hat. Now, this film is brought to you by Nick Roth and Lindsay Hahn. It also has Nick and Lindsay in the film, along with Claire Grant, and supposedly Seth Green. Now, in the opening casting credits, I started noticing that people's names were kind of being twisted and turned a little bit. Okay, maybe it was supposed to be a spoof. Okay, ha ha ha. And then all of a sudden it got to Seth Green's name. And it was spelled Seethgreen, I believe. Seth Green. So I was kind of wondering, all right, maybe it's a spoof. Maybe it's really not the actual Seth Green that you and I have come to know and love from many of his acting roles, and of course with the many parts that he plays with Adult Swim and so forth. And of course, oh shit, I can't even think of the cartoon series that he does with. Anyway, he doesn't even know, because you know what I'm talking about. He plays the voice, supposedly, of Harry the Hat, a top hat. Again, comedy horror, low budget. About 90% of the film takes place in this home. Sam and Woody is the handkerchief, are up to save the universe from eternal doom, because Harry the Hat is there to take over the entire universe. There is a crowd for this movie. There truly is. If you love micro budget comedies, it's got a decent production. It really does. The sound quality is there. It's got good lighting. The acting is kind of wishy-washy. I wish they had a little bit more production value to it that they would have been enabled to, because I really think this could have come off as a hysterical cult classic. And I'm not saying that within that group that do find this movie that it won't become one automatically. I am glad that I watched it, and I do want to thank the people at the Hanky Panky Film for reaching out to me. I truly mean that. I am glad that you offered it to me. I'm glad that I got to watch the film. I'm glad that I got to see it at least once. I am sorry. I had a good time with it. If I was with a group of people and we were kicked back, having a great time, having a couple beers, this would probably be a great movie to watch. It is definitely not something to take serious, but I will tell you, the end of this movie is definitely worth watching on its own. Again, the film is Hanky Panky. It was released, I believe, December of 2023. And I apologize. I mean, no insults by questioning Seth Green. And the reason that I do is I do my homework to be able to at least fill the watchers in on dates and locations and names and production companies and so forth, because I also want to be able to give credit where credit is due. Now, if you Google the movie, it has Seth Green listed in the cast. If you go to IMDb and you look up Seth Green, It's not in there. So I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying maybe he hasn't updated it or whomever takes care of his page hasn't. That's all I'm saying. And I will admit, while watching the film, the voiceovers that he does do, I'm listening, and he's got a really distinctive voice. I just didn't hear it. I'm not saying it's not him. Congratulations on obtaining such a notable actor if it was, and congratulations just on making a film. Congratulations to everyone who's ever made a film, because it's more than I'm doing. But I do want to thank again August Aguilar for sending me Piglet Rising. Joy Horror Entertainment for sending me Worst Laid Plans, and the folks at Hanky Panky. I am John with the Witching Hour podcast. I hope you check out these 3 films and you let me know what you thought of them. Yay, nay, whatever. Let me know what you guys think. Also, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Please hit the subscribe button down below. It would mean the absolute world to me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Find me on all social media platforms. You can also find me on Roku for free. My app is up there. Thank you to my producer, Tony Hack Covington of Hack's Horror Show. You can now watch my interviews, at least, on the comfort of your own home, sitting on your couch with your little remote. If you've got Roku, scroll down to apps, you will find me, and it is absolutely free. I've got, I think, 8 episodes up there right now, and we're getting ready to switch over and give you guys 8 more. So, again, thank you guys for joining me. I am John with the Witching Hour podcast. I'll talk to you guys soon, and as always, remember to keep it evil.